From ComoLake Holidays. Today I'm going to be talking about part two of how to navigate the Navigazione Laghi, which is the public ferry service here on Lake Como. And it is the most beautiful way to get around. However, the timetable, as many of you may have already experienced, can be a little bit mysterious. So I'm here to help you decode it and figure out exactly which boat you need to catch to get to where you want without any confusion and without being stranded on the other side of the lake. So let's get stuck into it. Now, the official website for the boat and ferry service on the lakes is navigazionelaghi.it. It does serve the three major lakes in northern Italy. So we are interested in Lake Como. And I actually think the best way to start is not by putting in the search down here. It's actually by familiarizing yourself with the whole timetable, which you will find here on when you click on Lake Como, go on the right-hand side. It will just give you the bigger picture and it will actually help you plan ahead of time, rather than relying on the search service that doesn't always kick out all of the options that you might have available to you. Now you'll see that there's either the ship and fast service or the ferry boat timetables. Now the ship and fast service is typically either the slow boat or the fast boat that stops in all of the little towns all along the lake, whereas the ferry boat is the boat that navigates and operates in the middle of the lake, serving Menaggio, Varenna, Bellagio, and Cadenabbia, and is able to also carry on cars as well as foot passengers. Now, I am going to start off with the ferry boat because it is the easiest out of all of the timetables to understand. And I'm going to start with weekdays. So that is Monday to Saturday. Okay, so not Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. This timetable here is for Sundays and holidays. So let's start with the weekdays. Um, okay, here you have the timetable. I'm actually going to start off by looking at the bottom first. Now, we're going to ignore these symbols here because they're actually not reported in any of this particular timetable. They are reported in the speedy boat service that stops on all of the small towns. But what I am going to have a look at is down here at the numbers because these are reported in this timetable. So number one just simply means that it stops via Bellagio. Number two is just passengers only via Bellagio, so no cars coming off at Bellagio. Number three means via Varenna. Number four means only passengers via Varenna, no cars. Number five means through going by Menaggio. Number six means only foot passengers via Menaggio, so no cars can come off. And number seven is just passengers only. Okay, so let's have a look at this timetable. First of all, you have to look on the left-hand side, okay? So where are you departing from? Are you departing from Cadenabbia? Are you departing from Menaggio? Are you departing from Bellagio? Or are you departing from Varenna? Let's start off with one of the most popular ones. Let's say you are in Bellagio and you want to get to Varenna. You have to look at the different courses from the different routes, sorry, to Varenna, which is highlighted down here. So here it will show you from Bellagio to Cadenabbia, all of these ones, from Bellagio to Menaggio, all of these ones, and then from Bellagio to Varenna are all of these ones. So you will see the first one is at 6:05, and then you'll see a number seven. So what does number seven means? It means foot passengers only. So if you're planning to get out of Bellagio with your car, you actually won't be able to do that on this particular route, but you are able to do that on any of the other boats that do leave that day. So you can see first one is at 6:05, last one from Bellagio to Varenna is 11:05. So you can see here all of the stops. Same thing if you wanted to go from Bellagio to Menaggio, a bit more complicated because you do have these symbols. They do look like most of them is number four. Okay, number four is foot passengers only, so no cars on the majority of the routes via from Bellagio to Menaggio. If you did have a car, much easier to get from Bellagio to Cadenabbia that has no car restrictions. And you can see there are quite a lot of options. Last ferry out is at 11:40. So yeah, so that's how you would interpret it. Same thing if you were in Cadenabia and you wanted to go to Varenna. Again, just make sure that you look at these numbers and what they mean down here, because if you have a car, you will be affected by it. Okay, so that's for weekdays. So from Monday to Saturdays, this is what the festivi looks like. So that's Sunday and holidays. One thing to bear in mind is that this week is almost the whole of Italy is on holiday because the 15th of August, which is Friday, is a massive bank holiday here. So if you are planning to travel on Friday, please note that it actually comes under the festivi, the holiday timetable, not the weekday one, because it's classified Friday, this Friday in particular, is classified as holiday. Same thing here, you're leaving from Cadenabia and you need to go to Bellagio. You just look at these times here. If you are in Menaggio and you need to get to Varenna, you look at these times here. Always bear in mind the numbers down here. You'll also see the journey time here too. So, for example, Cadenabia to Bellagio is 10 minutes. Cadenabia to Varenna is 30 minutes. Okay. Now, we've done the ferries now, which operate in the middle of the lake, which is this bit here. One, two, three, four, five. Now we're going to dive into the more complex of the timetables, which is the ship and fast service. So let's start off with the most complicated one. Okay, so looking at this, wow. Okay, so this one in particular is the Como to Colico. So if we go back here, it's Como to Colico. If we go back here, okay. So this is where they put the feriale, which is the weekday schedule, with the festivo, which is the Sunday and bank holiday schedule. And just to make it even more confusing, why does it have this white one? GIOR. So let's go down into our trusty section down here and understand what that means. So feriali, as we know, is Monday to Saturday. Giornalieri is every day, so from Monday to Sunday as well. And festivi is just one that operates on Sunday and bank holidays. Okay, so that's what it means. It means that these ones operate Monday to Saturday. These ones operate every day until Sunday. These days are only Sunday and bank holidays. These days, every day, Monday to Sunday, this Monday to Saturday, and so on. Okay. So the starting point here is Como. Okay. So what does the red versus the black mean? So the red is quite simply the fast service. So you'll see that it actually jumps a lot of these stops. Okay. Because it is a fast service. Let's have a look at this one, which is the black service here, which is the slower boat. Let's take into consideration this one. Okay, it starts in Como. It actually, what does this line mean? It means that it jumps Lecco. It doesn't stop in Lecco. It stops at Tavernola at 7:43, Cernobbio 7:48, jumps Blevio, goes to Moltrasio, goes to Torno, and stops before it gets to Urio. So the dot, the black dot, means that it stops just before this stop here. So actually, the last stop is in Torno, which is at 8:04. Okay. If we look at this fast service, it goes from Como all the way to Lezzano, then it goes all the way to Menaggio, and you'll see here that there's an arrow going down and then three arrows kind of going the other way. That simply means that it's kind of jumping through the stops and doing a sort of loop. So from Lezzano, this boat goes to Menaggio, then it stops at Bellagio, then it jumps all of these stops, goes to Tremezzo and finishes in Leno. Okay, so that's what this means. This fast service goes from Como, Lezzano, Menaggio, Bellagio, Tremezzo, Leno. Same thing for this one here. If you're trying to understand, okay, what do these arrows going up and down mean? It means that this one particular leaves Como at 7:50, arrives at Tavanola at 7:58, gets to Urio at 8:15, gets to Torno at 8:22, gets to Moltrasio at 8:27. This one is quite straightforward. Just goes from Como to Torno, stops at Torno. Same thing here. Let's have a look here. Fast service goes to Lezzano, and then it keeps jumping stops and eventually gets to Colico, and then it comes back to Piona. So that's why Colico 10 past 10 and Piona 10:20. So hopefully that will have helped with the arrow situation. I'm just trying to see if there's any other confusing ones. I guess let's take this one for example. Again, leaves Como, gets to gets to Cinobbio, goes all the way to Torno, then comes back to Moltrasio. Okay. Now, let's dive into this part here. So, scali corse. So, these are actually departing from Leno. So, it looks like perhaps you need to get to Leno to continue the route at some point. So, you'll see here, for example, there's a boat that leaves at 8:45 in Leno. And then that goes all the way down to Bolano and then comes back to Varenna at 9:56. Yeah, kind of confusing because some go all the way to Colico, some don't go to Colico. So it seems like this one, for example, goes all the way to Colico, but from Lezzano. Now, the confusing thing here as well is that, for example, here we've got one leaving Lecco. Okay, so it says Lecco, and then it says service of Lecco line, quadro 3, which means square number 3. So what that simply means is that it's referring to this service line here. So quadro 3, so Lecco Bellagio. So here it's saying there's a boat leaving at 9:15. So if we go here, it's this 9:15 here that gets you to Bellagio at 10:45. So that's what these mean here. So you've got with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now down here you will have the opposite of the timetable. So if you wanted to leave Colico and get back to Como, then this is the timetable here. Again, here it says service line for Lecco number 4. So that simply means this one here. So you'll see here quadro 4, which is this timetable, which actually is the opposite of this one. So how to get from Bellagio all the way down to Lecco. Again, just watch out for these arrows, which means that it jumps some of the stops, okay? You'll want to be waiting at Limonta when actually this ferry doesn't stop there on that day. Um, just a few other things to bear in mind. There are some numbers on these timetables as well. You'll see number 3 there. If we go down here, it just means that in Bellagio there are further connections to and from Como and Colico lines. So again, look at number 1 and 2 timetables, which are these timetables here. So there are additional timetables. So timetable number 1, timetable number 2. So have a look at these as well. So for example, here you've got Bellagio 8:15, it goes all the way to, it goes to Menaggio and then all the way to Dervio and then comes back to Bolano. Once you've kind of got an idea of the route that you want to take, that's when you can come back here and actually start to input your departing town and where you want to be visiting and having a look at the times when you can book it. So if you want to include the fast service, click on there. If you don't want any changes, click on there. But the best way is to familiarize yourself with this crazy timetable. Hopefully you will understand a little bit more about what it all means.